So we hear a lot about CO2, but our company tackles methane, which is less talked about, although I guess maybe less so in the last year, but it's still a major component of global warming, somewhere between 16 and 20%. Also, per molecule, it's much more potent than CO2, which means that we can, we can mitigate the warming effect, for example, by turning it into CO2. So we're looking at a set of sources of methane that have a potential 500 megatons of CO2 equivalent of annual mitigations. So if you don't think in megatons of CO2 equivalents, it is similar to taking 100 million cars off the roads, or the cars in all of these states highlighted in blue. So really big potential impact. So how do we do this? Fundamentally, we sell carbon offsets, right? And we do this to companies under regulatory obligations to keep their emissions below a certain level or pay someone else who can, right? So an example of this is California cap and trade for the European investors, EU ETS. There's, of course, voluntary and many, many other markets like that. So first, we identify these really high impact methane sites that are concentrated and continuous in nature. We install and remotely monitor this fleet of methane neutralizing devices, and then we get a third party to validate and issue our carbon offsets, and we sell those. First, we find these unregulated sources that are concentrated and continuous, from mud volcanoes to abandoned coal mines to landfills. We've looked at a set of them and found 1.1 gigatons of CO2 equivalent from only 3,000 sources, right? So compare that to the 100 million cars. Kind of much fewer sources in order to get these benefits. And also, we've since looked at smaller sources and found at least another gigaton that could be addressed in the similar manner. So we install a custom capture and flaring systems. The monitoring systems will drop the cost of by about 10x, and the mechanical systems by 8x from anything you can buy off the shelf. Here's our installation in the Arctic on a natural permafrost methane vent. The market opportunity, we're going to start with California cap and trade for now. And the market size there is 700 million per year for just the offset portion. Of course, the cap and trade is much larger. Per ton of methane that we can mitigate, we can get $425, so pretty nice. And because it's flared with quite a bit of margin. Now is a really good time to be part of the carbon offset business, because there's $6 billion market worldwide, and it's growing really rapidly, as you can see. Almost even, this is a little outdated now, there is China and Australia that are also under those markets, with 2 more billion coming up. And why our team, we have a really fantastic team backed by excellent investors and supported by various programs such as RPE and the Google SDG. We have folks that have built long-lived devices in harsh conditions, that have taken something from an idea to business, and lots of deep climate tech expertise. Do reach out, and we're having a couple of upcoming installation, but if you have a cousin with a dairy farm, for example, or any other sources of methane, we're super interested to talk about sources as well as investments. Thank you.
So you said you kind of monitor the different sources where there's huge amount of methane coming out. On what geography level do you do that? Is it US only? Is it like a regional setup that you have, or how do you currently do that?
So, sorry, just to be clear, we monitor any source that we mitigate, right? We don't necessarily monitor them independently. In the US, there's really good government data on certain sources, so like landfills, coal mines, trona mines, that kind of thing, and pretty poor data on, let's say, natural sources of methane. Yep. So it kind of depends. But once we install the device, part of the deal is we got to monitor it to within 5% accuracy with frequent recalibration, which we've automated as well. So that's to within 5% accuracy, sometimes better.